LessonsLearnt. I'm Sherry. This is Monday Quilt Chat. Time to grab your favorite drink, have a seat, relax for a minute, pause a little bit if it's the middle of the day and have a break, or if it's the beginning of your day, getting it started, or if it's the end of your day, relaxing. So we're just going to chat a little bit about quilty things as usual. Quilty things in my world and in the world in general. So this past weekend, I always start with what went on then. It did warm up just a little bit, and the snow is truly starting to melt away now. There's very little snow to be found around here. There's some shady spots on our property that still have snow, actually quite a bit, but by and large it is gone. And I believe this coming week, the entire week, maybe for the next 10 days, is going to be normal or above normal temperatures. As a matter of fact, I think Tuesday and Wednesday are going to be in the low 60s. So we might have some daffodils pushing through the ground. I know some of you a little bit farther south are already experiencing some of that. So it's our turn now. It's winter is trying to leave and spring is trying to come. Of course, that's what, March 22nd, so we have a good month or so before spring is truly here, and it usually gets off to a little bit of a slow start here. You know, just kind of, you never know. It could even, snow sometimes around the Easter holiday, or, around that time. It's been known to be cold, but hopefully this year we'll have a nice sunny bright spring with lots of flowers and bushes flowering. It's my favorite time of year. Makes me feel really good. So what I did this weekend is I rested my shoulder a little bit. It's not really my shoulder, it's more like my shoulder blade, and it is better, I think, since I rested it. Well, I think it's I don't know if it's going away or not, but it did help it. So I can stand to do the things that I need to do, and I kind of probably sort of pushed my limits a little bit with doing some cleaning, but it had to be done. The things have to be done. Nothing stops when you get down or sick or anything like that. You have to keep going. My finger is pretty much all the way healed. It just barely has a little bit of a scab on it, not much at all, and it isn't tender at all anymore. Thank goodness about that. I worked on these speedy squares from Wednesday's video. That video seems to be doing really, really well, so I hope that a lot of you have started this project with your scrap 10-inch and 5-inch. I still have plenty. I've probably done 20 or so blocks, and I'm still working on it. It might take me a month or so, really, to get through my stack of 10-inch. I'll still have 5 inches after that, but hopefully I won't be cutting any new ones for a while, minimally at least. So just got through doing one of these just for fun, so I leave them out and I just grab a couple now and again. I can, if my iron is on and everything, I can just do a couple, 3, 4 at a time, and move on to something else. That's the only thing that I really sewed on this weekend, but I did do a couple of quilty things this weekend. I'm starting this project, Twizzle. So I need to get you used to the name of it, don't I? This is Twizzle, because I'll be working on Twizzle for a while, I'm pretty sure. This one. And this is from the Spring 2025 Quilters World. It's on the cover. So I'm going to be starting on that. I have started, it's mostly a foundation paper piecing, but it's kind of a quick, easy version of it. And so I have all of my different pages that I needed to print off for my patterns all printed out. Got all of those done. And I also have a template that I had to make. And this is a tip I wanted to share with you too. If you have a template in a pattern you don't have a ruler just exactly like what it is that you need to cut your fabric with, they give you a template here. You go print that off and then cut that out of something that's stable enough that you can, you know, cut around it or draw around it at least. You could do it with cardboard or cardstock, something like that too. I prefer this template material. It's just a thin plastic. You can get it at any craft store. Just a really thin plastic. And then I also have these ruler grips that you can put on the back of your rulers. See that there? They're square. And then the interior round part is for use also. So I put a square in the center and then I put 3 dots on the corners there. So it will, once I lay this on my fabric to make my cuts, it will not move on me. It won't be sliding around. So I am ready to start cutting. I'm waiting for my background still. It is due to arrive today. So I no doubt will be doing major cutting this week on this project. Will I start sewing on it? I don't know. I don't know, because you know I like to keep all my projects in motion, and I didn't get to do a whole lot of those last week. Oh, I did sew something else over the weekend. It was the number 6 Riley Blake Design Challenge block. So I'm all caught up on that. I'm still not caught up on Peaceful Baskets. And that box is showing up today, I think, in my mailbox. So I'll have 2 Peaceful Baskets to do. I know I did 2 at the same time about a month ago, so it looks like that's what's going to happen again. And then I need to get back to a few other things over there that I haven't touched for a week or 2. So I need to keep them in motion. That's my thing, right? So I'm ready. Patterns, ruler, and waiting on fabric. Fabric will be here today. And remember, I'm using this, and someone asked me what is the name of this. Let me get it for you. I think it's just called Roses, but I don't remember the name of the company. Timeless Treasures. Fabric of Soho is what it's called. And it just says pattern number Rose CD 2563. And that's not just this one. All of them that have selvage say that on it. So I think the number might be different, but it just says pattern number Rose. So yeah, it's Timeless Treasures Fabric of Soho. So I have this one big rosy piece here. I might use as a border or something. I'm not real sure. When I bought this stuff, I didn't know what I was going to do with it. But typically, I've been buying a fat quarter bundle and a couple yard piece so that, you know, I can have enough to make something out of it. And then the grunges were just extra. I actually ordered both of these thinking I would use one of them, but I might end up using both of them in that project, just to, you know, just from what I'm seeing in the pattern. So that is getting off into a good start. A slow start, but a good start. But yeah, I did do that Riley Blake block too. The other thing that happened this weekend, if you're on Facebook, you already have seen it, but Mark, my husband, has started to sew. He decided he wanted to learn how to sew. Okay, I'll be glad to teach you how to sew. Now I have my baby lock in the house, the one that I used to do free motion quilting with. It's in the house, and I currently use it for piecing backings and doing the binding on the quilts that I finish on the long arm. So he's in there using that sewing machine. So we made I taught him how to make a little 9-patch first, just to kind of see if he felt like he could do it. I mean, I know he can do it. He can do anything. But if it was interesting enough that he would want to do it. So after that, after he got his little 9-patch done, he says, so what would it take to do like a quilt like what we use on the couch? And I was like, well, you would need something about, 50 by 70, 60 by 70, something like that, like a large throw. And I said, we can make the blocks bigger because the 9-patch that he did was only like 2.5-inch blocks. So it was small. And I said we could just make them bigger, and you know, you don't have to make as many blocks, and you can get there a little bit quicker with the size you want. So we picked out some fabric. He says, get out some fabric that you don't care anything about. I said, yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too. And so we got 4 different prints out, and he cut it all up into 4.5-inch squares. So those will be 12-inch blocks when he's done. So if it's not big enough, it should be 4 yards of fabric should make a decent throw size quilt, right? If not, we'll do sashing, and he knows what sashing and borders are, and some of the other terminology that he's heard me say in videos, because he edits the videos that I make. So, you know, he's familiar with a lot of sewing terms. He just doesn't know really how they're applied. So now he's learning that part of it. So I'm excited for him. He's enjoying himself. He's quite the perfectionist. You know, he's trying to work out, how is it that you make those corners always point to each other? I said, well, sometimes this happens or that happens, you know, and, you know, explaining all the ins and outs of how you can get those to always line up. Mine don't always line up, but I don't think he's satisfied that they don't line up. He wants them all to line up. And he has experienced the seam ripper already. He will rip it out and do it again if he doesn't like the way it looks. So got myself a perfectionist student here, something that I am not. I like to do a good job, but I wouldn't call myself a perfectionist when it comes to putting 9 patches together. Probably should be, but I am not. I explained that to him too, you know, how when we do these little 9-patch or 16 patch like I do, you know, you're using scraps, you're using fabric that you don't want to use for something else, and if it's not perfect, it's not the end of the world if it's just for you, you know. If you're giving it as a gift, yeah, you might want to get those way more accurate. And, you know, I don't get too far off the track, but at the same time, yeah, if there's just a little bit of space that's off and they don't quite meet, sometimes I might let that go. But yeah, he's particular. So we'll see how far he gets with this quilt. I'm sure he'll get it done. He's a little bit slow, but that's fine. We're all slow in the beginning. I'm sure I was too, and all of you, when you first started using a sewing machine, you know, there's just a lot of things to pack into your brain at one time, even though you're making a simple design. So he's learning. He's learning already just in a couple of days and doing well. I think he has 4 blocks made of his big 9 patches that he's making. So that's exciting. Yeah, it's fun to teach somebody right there in your house, your husband. Kind of different. Do any of your husbands sew? That's a good question I could ask you for the comments. How many of you have husbands that sew? I know a couple of you do. Some of you that I know that not maybe they're not avid sewers, but they know a few things that they do. And so I'd be curious to know how many of your all's guys, or if you're a guy sewer and you have a significant other, you know, do they sew too? I'd like to know. Okay, that's that. I do have some, I do have a shipment from, what do I call those things? Recent acquisitions. I have a recent acquisition. It is from Marshall Dry Goods, and it's a couple of 108s and some yardage. I wanted to replenish my 108. I have quite a few still, but I'm getting down to where I don't have anything I can choose from for my quilt backs. So I'm kind of replenishing some of my quilt backs that I've used over the last few months here, doing all the tops that I've done, longarming those and getting those done. They had some 108s for $11.99 a yard, so I got 3 yards of each. This one is a Wyndham and it's called Charco. Natalie Barnes for Beyond the Reef. I thought that was pretty. let me see this again. It's called Our House, and I think I even have some, I think I have some 45-inch yardage of something that matches this. I don't know, I like it. I would put it on the back of, I can see this going on the back of one of my quilts. That's what I'm trying to say. Natalie Martin's Our House. And it's a 108 print there. The other one was Promise Me from Batiks, and that is Pat Sloan's, it's actually called Promise Me a Rose Garden, but she calls it Promise Me. So I got this one. Nice, one of her nice big giant prints. Those are always nice for the back of a quilt. So I got one of those. I was tempted to get another one. She has some other, she has one with a navy background and some flowers on it like this. If they come on sale again, I might get another one of those. And then I got some yardage just to get up to where I could have free shipping. This is a Riley Blake. I got 2 yards of Shades of Autumn. And this is from Shades of Autumn. My Mind's Eye Paper Goods. It's a 2023 print. Shades of Autumn. Yeah. I thought it was pretty. It would make some good borders. Or possibly a background. It's kind of muted enough it could be a background. So a couple yards of that. That was $6.99 a yard. And like I said, that was just to get up to my free shipping. I think their free shipping is $85. I spent $85.92. So that is my recent acquisition there. I have some more that are arriving today. I told you the Sew Sampler box is coming. My background, I'll probably have that all cut up. And you'll never see me show that as a recent acquisition. And then the other thing I have green from Green Fairy. I ordered blush and butterscotch. I got a fat quarter bundle and a couple yards like I always do. But I think that's coming today. So you'll see that next week. Okay. The other thing that I needed to go over with you was our map. I filled in all of the states that we got in the last mailing. And some of you asked me about what was Esther's state. And she was the one that sent the big envelope with the folder inside. And it was Florida. So I think I already had Florida. She may have been, I don't remember if that was the first one I opened that day or not. Either way, I had several Floridas that day. So I colored in Michigan. Now I'm starting to forget which ones I got on Friday. Alaska. And did you notice I had to put a note on Alaska that one I had said was Arkansas. It wasn't Arkansas, it was Alaska. It was Shirley's block. She was the first one to send from Alaska. And then there was another one of you that had one from Alaska. So I have, now I've heard from some of you saying you're sending your blocks. I think I have one coming from New York. I have one coming from Idaho, Iowa. I'm not sure. Some of you told me that you were sending them or they're on their way. So we'll have some new ones here when I go pick those up on Wednesday. I don't have any today because I didn't go to the post office since last Wednesday. So I'll get them this Wednesday and you'll hear them on Friday. And I also want to thoroughly and profusely apologize to the people from Canada. I did not mean to hurt your feelings about the senseless comment that I made about State of Canada. I did not mean anything by that, especially nothing political. I just did not know how sensitive of an issue that was to speak that way. So I want to apologize. I didn't mean anything bad by that at all. I love my Canadian friends and I love people from all nations. It doesn't matter where we live. We can love people no matter where they're from, and I am one of those people. So sorry I said something very senseless and insensitive, really. So I am apologizing to you for that. If you were one of the ones that didn't comment about it and you didn't like it, this is your apology. All of those who sent comments or emails to me, which there was just a few, I've spoken to them directly. I did delete the comments after I responded to them because I don't want anything political coming up in my comments. I don't care what you comment about, even if it's something negative, as far as, maybe I didn't sew something right, or something like that. I don't mind anything direct you want to hit me with that way. I'm okay with. I love constructive criticism, but we're not going to have any religion, politics stuff going on in the comments. So thank you to all of you who did reach out and express yourself. I truly appreciate that, and I learned something from it. That was a lesson learned. So that's important in life, to learn lessons, and I've learned plenty of them in my life. But anyway, that's how our Blues Batiks thing is going with the states. Is there anybody out there from Hawaii? We got our Alaska. We need a Hawaii. And then Montana, Idaho, Nevada, Utah, Connecticut, New Mexico, North and South Dakota, Nebraska, Iowa, West Virginia, South Carolina, New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, Massachusetts. I think somebody said they were sending something from Massachusetts. Connecticut, Rhode Island, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland. Did I say West Virginia? And then South Carolina. Those are the ones we need from. So if you're from one of those states and you want to make a couple of giant half square triangles for Blues Batiks, feel free. I ordered from Soya, from their D-Stash sale on Saturday, a 108 backing for the upcoming quilt. So I will have that waiting for when the quilt gets finished. So that is about all I have to share with you today that I can think of. So we will do our quilt of the week, our art quilt of the week, and I'll put a picture right here. And this is called Eclipse, 95 by 95. It's by Judy Lowery of Franklin, North Carolina. It says, Judy wanted a challenge, and she found it in this project. She used paper piecing, her favorite technique, and batik fabrics to create the quilt. The curved quilting serves to complement the straight lines in the pattern. And this was quilted by Andrea Walker. It looks like custom quilting. And it won second place in the Souter Village Quilt Show 2023 in Archbold, Ohio. The pattern is called Eclipse by Judy Niemeyer, and she is with quiltworks.com. So the one thing that I loved a lot of things about this quilt, but the one thing I really loved about it was that center and how it looks so faceted right in that round center. And then as the spikes grow off of the center, it looks like it's shining. So that is a really, really neat effect. Lots of paper piecing, but it really does make a beautiful quilt. So this quilt that I'm getting ready to start cutting is a paper piecing quilt, almost completely. It has a half square triangle border. Actually, they're pinwheels is what it's going to be. Other than that, it's foundation paper piecing. So I'm going to get my practice back in on foundation paper piecing, and then maybe that will get me in the mood to do those paper piecing state stars that I've started working on last year. All right, that is it. I hope you have a great week. I'm glad we got to chat this morning and get our week started off right and get our sewing life moving, keeping things in motion, keeping things within our boundaries, and watching our spinning, taking care of our health. All of those are great things. Most of all, enjoying what we do so that we have good #quilt health. All right, have a great week, and I will see you here on Wednesday. Most likely will be a long arm video. And don't forget, you have 6 projects now that you can scrap bust with, and those will continue. So stick with me. Next month will be No Buy March for me. So no doubt I will have to drum up some more projects to do. All right, have a great week, and I will see you on Wednesday. Bye.